Now let's move on to the final question of paper 1, which is the short response question. This question is worth 5 marks, and although it is shorter than the summary, it is still very important because every mark counts. Before learning how to answer it, let's first understand what the Cambridge syllabus says about this section. According to the syllabus, question 3b is the short response task. In this question, you are required to write a short response based on text B to show your understanding of the writer's implicit meanings and attitudes. This means the examiner is not only checking whether you understand the information in the passage, but also whether you can understand ideas that are suggested rather than directly stated. The marks are divided into 3 parts. 1 mark is awarded for giving a clear viewpoint, 2 marks are awarded for supporting details taken from text B, and the remaining 2 marks are awarded for developing your ideas. This means simply giving your opinion is never enough. You must support it with evidence from the passage and explain your ideas clearly. So, what exactly is a short response question? It is a directed writing task based entirely on text B. The examiner will ask you to take on a specific role and respond to a situation using information from the passage. This question tests whether you can understand and select relevant information, write for a particular purpose, audience and role, use your own words instead of copying, and explain your ideas clearly. The task can appear in different forms. Sometimes you may be asked to write an interview, which is the most common type. At other times, it may be a speech, letter, email, report, article, script, dialogue, or a question and answer response. No matter what format is used, the approach remains the same. Remember that this question is always based on text B. The question will assign you a role, such as a student, volunteer, explorer, organizer, journalist, teacher, or another character. Once you are given that role, you must remain in it throughout your entire response. Your answers should be based on the information in text B, written in your own words, and your ideas should always be explained rather than simply listed. One important thing to note is that in recent past papers, you will frequently come across interview-based questions because this has become a common format. However, your syllabus is not limited to interviews. The question may also appear as a speech, letter, email, report, article, script, or another directed writing task. Whatever the format, your approach remains the same. Simply adopt the role assigned in the question, stay in that role throughout your response, and support your answers using relevant information from text B, along with appropriate opinions and logical development based on the passage. For example, if the question asks you to imagine that you are being interviewed about your experience of volunteering at a wildlife rescue center, then you must answer as the volunteer. Read each interview question carefully, use information from text B, write in your own words, and develop each answer instead of giving very short responses. Let's now look specifically at interview-based responses, because these are the most common. In this task, you answer interview questions by adopting the role given in the question and using information from text B. Begin with a clear viewpoint, support every opinion with evidence from the passage, develop your ideas with logical explanations, and write naturally and fluently. The safest way to score full marks is to follow this simple formula. Follow this simple formula every time. State your viewpoint clearly, support it with relevant supporting details from text B, and then add development by explaining or expanding your points logically. Now let's go through the steps one by one. Step 1 is to read the question carefully. Before writing anything, identify who you are, what the interviewer or question is asking, and which part of text B contains the relevant information. Stay in the assigned role from the beginning to the end of your response. Never switch to another character or begin writing from your own point of view. Step 2 is to state your viewpoint. This is worth 1 mark, so answer the question immediately. Begin with a clear opinion or position. You can use phrases such as, I believe, I agree, I disagree because, or, in my opinion. This opening sentence tells the examiner your viewpoint and becomes the topic sentence for your response. Step 3 is to support your viewpoint. This section is worth 2 marks, so include at least 2 relevant ideas from text B. Return to the passage, find the correct information, and rewrite it in your own words. Avoid copying directly because Cambridge rewards candidates who can paraphrase successfully. Step 4 is to develop your ideas. This is worth the final 2 marks. Don't stop after giving your supporting details. Explain why they are important, describe their effects, or expand them logically using the information in text B. If the passage provides facts or statistics, you may use them to strengthen your explanation. A stronger response usually contains 4 or 5 well-developed ideas rather than a few short statements. Another important rule is to stay in character. If the question asks you to answer as a neighbor, student, teacher, volunteer, explorer, or reporter, remain in that role throughout your entire response. Do not suddenly change perspective or begin writing from your own point of view. Every opinion you give should be supported by information from text B. You may expand ideas logically, but never invent completely new information that is not suggested in the passage. A high-scoring response follows a simple structure. First, give your viewpoint. Then provide your first supporting detail, followed by its development. After that, include your second supporting detail and develop it as well. Following this pattern keeps your writing organized and helps you include everything the examiner is looking for. There are also some important things you should always do and some things you should avoid. Answer exactly what the question asks, remain in your assigned role, support your ideas with evidence from text B, write in your own words, explain every point clearly, and keep your response relevant and well organized. At the same time, avoid copying directly from the passage, giving unsupported opinions, changing character halfway through your response, repeating the same idea, introducing unrelated information, or ignoring the main issue raised in the question. Finally, be aware of the common mistakes candidates make. Don't give opinions without evidence. Don't copy directly from text B. Don't forget to develop your supporting points. Don't leave the assigned role. Don't write only one or two undeveloped ideas. Don't write a disorganized response, and don't include irrelevant information. If you follow this method every time, you'll give the examiner exactly what is required and give yourself the best chance of scoring the full 5 marks. And with that, we have completed section B and also finished learning how to attempt paper 1 reading. The only thing left now is to practice real past paper questions so you can apply everything you've learned and become confident before your examination.